What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy, and I'm coming at you with another game review type video thing. Currently, actually I should go back there. Currently I am playing LEGO Indiana Jones 2. I'm gonna use this, I think, as kind of a catch-all for a lot of the LEGO games. As you can see going through this, there's a lot of... I mean... This one seems to capture, I think, all the Indiana Jones movies. Seems apparent it came out shortly after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was released, considering they split that into 3 parts. But, yeah, anyway, so I'm going to be playing this one specifically, but I might use this as kind of a catch-all for a lot of the LEGO games, like I said. The ones that are based off of movies, anyway. Where to start? So, I realize, you know, these games are pretty much designed for kids. And it's really apparent with some things. I find it kind of amusing at some points where they will replace what in the movies might have been questionable for kids. Other than maybe this sort of thing? I don't know. But, like, some of the things that might have been alcohol or something they would not deem okay for kids, they'll replace it with ice cream or something like that. Different little things like that that I find kind of amusing from time to time. As you can see me doing right now, it's very easy to just kind of go around and destroy a bunch of stuff and get these little studs, as they're called, which will typically... I mean, it's like the in-game currency. You could buy new characters, new vehicles, when you get to sort of the overworld screen. And then, I think... I don't know, these ones in particular I like a little better than some of the others that I've played. I've also played a couple of the LEGO Star Wars games, and then I think it was LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean that I played before. Some of those games are not quite so good with just giving you space to do what you need to do. Sorry, I'm just going around doing random stuff. I should probably get to the actual story thing here. Now, this one's pretty good at guiding you where you need to go. But sometimes you run into something or get to a certain point and it's like, okay, how do I get in here? Kind of like this. Apparently I need to find something that I can put as like a lever or whatever, something I can place on there to make it where I can use the whip and pull it open, I think. Some of the things that are also, I guess, nice and interesting occasionally, it gives it a lot of replay value, I suppose, is that certain things can only be done by certain characters. Oh, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. I jump up here, I get this, grab it. Okay, that's the thing I need. Goody. But yeah, so like, for example, some of those flowery spots like that, you need, I think, a female character in this game to do that. I don't know why the women can jump higher, but it's a thing, so whatever. And only Indy has the whip in this game, pretty much, so there are a lot of things that only he can do. And even within some of the story missions, there will be certain things that, like, you'll need to go back and replay just because of only certain characters being able to do certain things or, like, open certain doors or what have you. Yay, one of these missions. Lovely. So I guess I'm supposed to either chase these guys down or I don't know. I gotta wreck some dudes. Controls on this are a little lacking. A little shaky. So, that's one knock against this game specifically. And honestly, I find it a bit of an issue with most of the LEGO games. Additionally, there are quite a few of them that have some problems with just giving you too many enemies at once, and it makes it difficult for you to accomplish what you actually need to do. Okay. That part's done. There's probably going to be another phase to this. Yep. Yeah, I think LEGO Star Wars is particularly bad at just putting too many enemies in your way. It'll get to where you're so focused on the enemies and just staying alive that you can't even do what you actually need to do to complete the mission. I shouldn't say can't, but it just takes a really long time. Because you're so focused on just staying alive. Okay, come on. There we go. And again, I'm trying to keep in mind that these games are designed especially for kids. And so some of these parts that can be either, you know, frustrating or complicated or whatever, that's my main consideration when figuring that out. Especially, like, if I have a hard time with it as an adult, I can only imagine the difficulties some kids might have. Okay, where's the thing? Oh, it was up there. Yeah, so sometimes, like, a big problem that these games will have is that they give you too many enemies that you need to worry about. The other really big issue that happens sometimes is, like, something will come up where you're expected to do a certain thing to move further in the game, and they give you very little to no indication of how you're actually supposed to do that. I mean, there's some of it that is at least kind of consistent throughout these games, but other things, it's just like the way you naturally go through it doesn't really give you an indication of what you're supposed to do. It's like, oh, suddenly now here's this mechanic that you need to do, or that you need to utilize to progress through this game. It's kind of almost like, I think it was, what, Sonic the Hedgehog 3? Whichever one it was with the casino night zone, I think it was. It had this thing where you were randomly on a platform that it's like, oh, now suddenly you can use the D-pad to move this object up and down, rather than your typical jump that is the staple of the Sonic franchise. Like, what? You're just gonna randomly throw this at me and expect that I'm gonna know how to do this? Yeah. I don't really know how long I'm going to take to get through this. And I think I'm eventually supposed to hop into a different kind of car to take out some of these bigger things. Because this does not seem to be working. That right there was just about an example of what I mean by having too many enemies. It's like, there's all sorts of stuff shooting at you, and yet you still want me to complete the task you've laid out for me? How do I do that? But yeah, and then, like, this it's not inherently obvious how I'm supposed to deal damage to these cars, because it seems to be about more than just picking up speed. I was thinking I might use this, but apparently the guns on it are not actually usable, which seems... oh, okay, there we go. I just needed a passenger. Alright, that makes this much better. But the bullets bounce off, because that makes a lot of sense. So how am I supposed to take these guys down? See, this is what I mean. Confusing in all sorts of ways. So yeah, were it not for those two glaring issues of things not being obvious and sometimes having too many enemies, these games, I think, would be... I would be rating these games pretty high for kids. But that's not the case. Something was just throwing bombs at me. I wonder if that's what I'm supposed to use. Ah, press X to throw dynamite. Okay. See, had I not, like, captured this thing, I would be none the wiser. And that's what happens a lot of times, is there's something that's there that it's just kind of chilling out. It's part of the level. They don't really tell you much of anything about it. So, I guess a lot of these games lend themselves to moments of being stuck for a long time, but then you try one little thing and suddenly it does what you need. Okay, I should have figured... well, I actually was kind of figuring I needed something explosive, because one of the consistent mechanics throughout these LEGO games is that silver bricks will need dynamite or something explosive to destroy them. Again, I knew what I needed to do there, it's just how I was supposed to go about it, and in this case, how I was supposed to get the explosives was not clear at all. Alright, one last car that I need to wreck. And then that happens. Yeah, it's also very easy to lose some of these studs. I mean, it's good that, you know, they don't have just, like, lives that you go through and you could possibly get a game over or something for it. So that's definitely something that makes these games better for kids. It's because you don't have to worry about losing lives and having to restart the game or anything like that. But it can also be extremely easy to die sometimes. So I could imagine some kids getting kind of frustrated with the games or getting bored because they can't seem to get anywhere. And so, yeah, those are big negatives. Really, most of the rest of it is positive, like, you know, the replayability, the variety of characters. They're also generally pretty loyal to what happens in the movies. Sure, there are some slight changes that they make to make it more appropriate for kids, but still, on the whole, not bad in that regard. So, really, that's about all I've got to say on these. And I guess in this game, as with most of these games, after you complete a story-based thing. It'll take you back somewhere in the overworld, possibly to a different spot than you were before, but anyway, oh, this is different. So anyway, while I'm trying to navigate down this river path thing and figure out what I'm supposed to do, I will take care of my outro business. So, as always, like and share if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell to hopefully get updates when I post new stuff. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up with what I'm doing that way. Leave comments below with your thoughts on this game, others you'd like me to play and or review. Are you a LEGO game fan? Are you not? Yeah, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down below. So that's going to do it for this one. Like I said, this is going to be kind of my review of, like, all LEGO movie games. So, don't expect to see any others from me. Yeah. Anyway, that covers it. Hope you're all doing well, and hopefully I will see you for the next video. Stay cool, people.